It's going to be slightly different because it's going to be one of the characters in World of Cow, which is the farmer. So I will start drawing him now. I'm just... Oh dear, what a day. Right, yep. Just put on, if you want to contact me, I've got my phone here. If you're watching me on Facebook. So, start drawing me farmer. So I'm going a bit closer. And I don't know if you've seen farmer before, but he's got no eyes. And I find something quite appealing about not seeing a character's eyes sometimes. It's, I don't know, it just makes me laugh. A bit like Andy Cap, I suppose. It's that sort of vibe. You don't really know what's going on in their heads because you can't see their eyes. So I just want... So yeah, let's see. He's a bit big at the moment, but I'll draw him this size. I've got him on a separate level, separate layer, and I can shrink him down if need be. That's the beauty of working digitally. See, beforehand I would have to draw it in pencil and work it out that way, rubbing out and all that sort of stuff, but really what I can do here is basically this is pencil, but finished pencil, so I can manipulate it how I want. Yeah, so okay. There we go. Oh, I've got a message. So I don't know whether to have an expression on his face. I think just that. I don't want it to be too kind of pantomime-y. You'll see what I mean in a sec, I think. Sometimes you can overdo it, and I don't want to overdo it. I want it to almost look like it's an everyday occurrence. And again, this is a silly joke. It's ridiculous. Okay? So I don't think it's funny, ha ha. It's just I'm selling this, aren't I? Oh, I was going through my notebook and I saw a joke I'd written and I thought it was great. But I'm terrible at telling jokes because I always cock it up. I sort of stutter a bit. But yeah, I think I'm full of self-doubt and what have you, so I kind of double check back. But here it is. I was hit on the head with a can of meat. I woke up in hospital not knowing who I was. I had spamnesia. Yes! Boom! Eddie Izzard in your face. So anyway, I thought that was a funny joke. Spamnesia, come on. And ironically, I'd forgotten that I'd written that joke. So I probably had spamnesia. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean they're funny little characters, these farmers, and I've said it before, but they're sort of inspired by the old UPA style animation, which was quite abstract for its day, and they had funny little bodies and legs that just sort of sprouted out from torsos and no crotches as such, big noses. Inspired by Picasso and jazz. So it's that sort of vibe. What do you think? Oh god, yeah. I was saying the other day about how you do accents. So a friend of mine's called Andrew, and I go, "Hello, Andrew," and it must drive him crazy. And and I just realised I say think like an Irish person, and I apologise. You see, the problem is I'm locked up in a room all day with my own company, and I think actually doing this makes it worse because I'm now talking to myself and legitimising it by saying that I'm talking to people. So, yeah. If there were padded rooms on the NHS, I'm sure they'd be reserving it for me right now. But, a little bit of politics there. I was thinking how good Ben Elton used to be. I went to see him a couple of times. And you could almost see how he controlled a room, and you could almost see how people like, dare I say it, Hitler, kind of, apparently he's very charismatic. He didn't look it, not to our eyes, but he could control a room, and that's how he sort of got people to follow him. And that's why Darth Vader needed to be funnier. I always thought Anakin Skywalker, I thought the take on him, he should have been a bit more like Han Solo. A bit more like, you know, yeah. But he was just whingy, saying, no, you don't love me. And I think George Lucas likes a whingy teenager, but I think they took it a bit too far. With Darth, I always thought if they'd cut out that bit about, you know, your kiss is like a scar and all that rubbish in Attack of the Clones, and have her fall for him when they're in peril, which you think, you know, that would happen, you know, when that last sequence where they're fighting those kind of monsters, you know, gladiatorially. Cut all that crap, you know, I love you and all this, and sand gets in my nose and stuff, which is dreadful dialogue. Just have him, you know, just being cool, peeling oranges with, you know, the Force, which he was doing. You could have kind of, you know, understood it, I reckon. So all they need to do is edit it a bit, and that would be a better movie, in my opinion. Right. So he's got these boots, and I was playing with the idea of doing the boots really silly, like wafer thin. Hang on a sec. They're not wafer thin enough. There you go, wafer, wafer thin. I know. Okay, that's, you know, you can blame Monty Python for that, but that's just lazy. It's very nice. My outrageous French accent. Oh, that was so funny. The way he had his hands on the sort of top of the like wall, looking over. And, they understood comedy. Gosh. There's not many programs like that now. Not that that was a program, it was a film, but you know what I mean. Father Ted, that sort of hit it. I don't know if that's big enough. I think his boot needs to be bigger. Hang on a sec. What I'll do, I'll help myself out. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to delete this. Always be critical of your work. Not so critical that you paralyse yourself and not do anything. But look at it and go, is that right? Does that make me laugh? But do not talk like this. Like Michael Caine. Yeah. Does that make me laugh? You're only supposed to blow off the bloody lids. Anyway. That was terrible. I can't do accent. Well, I can. Oh, shut up. I can do Tom Jones. Sort of. Anyway. It's not unusual. No! Right, I think Yeah, I'll use that as a guide, and I'm going to do it on a separate layer. So if I do cock it up, I can just... Oh, hello, do it in white. Why don't you? Idiot! Not unusual to be loved by anyone. Right, okay. So the boot, yeah, I want it to be kind of like if you saw the boot on its own, you would know what character it was. So I'm almost over stylising it so it becomes its own recognisable bit. I was talking to a very good animator, amazing animator called Eric Goldberg, and he said try and make everything in your character recognisable and beautifully drawn. And it took me a while to take that on board, but he was so right. There you go. So yeah, I like that. That's better. It's about the right sort of size, I think. Perhaps the leg's a bit thin, so I'm just going to take off a bit of his thigh. Ow! Yeah, it looks like he's farting, doesn't it? But he's not. He's not farting. What I might do is cheat, actually. Save myself a bit of time. I'll use that later. Because both feet are sort of pointing in the same direction. Might as well save myself a bit of time. Someone on holiday once thought I came from Cornwall. Now, I really can't see how they thought that. I have been mistaken for a Londoner, and that's quite a good thing, I think, usually. I have to explain I'm not. Come from Orpington. Well, originally, actually, I come from Crystal Palace. We moved to Orpington when I was 11 months old. There you go. Just in case you wanted to know. Right. So there's our farmer. And sort of there. And yeah, I do what. Not sure I want to do any grass as such. So what I'll do, we'll see how this works because I'm not sure how it's going to work. I'll just colour him up and then do what I've got to do. Oh, hang on a sec. Right, hang on. I'll colour him up. Yeah, it actually turned out to be the right size. What am I doing? Beep, 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 doop. Choose the right colour. So he wears this sort of oatmeal. Green wellies, of course. And let me see. So yeah, if you want to, I've got a comic out. Contact me at stick@blueyonder.co.uk and I'll post you a copy if you're in England for £5. Just use that email on PayPal and you'll have your address on the PayPal thing, and I'll send you a copy, a signed copy of Robenauts. Which hopefully, if I get enough people buying it, I can then put that money into making another issue, issue 2. And the Robenauts, this run is a limited edition, so it'll be worth more in the coming years, especially with my lovely signature on the cover. Right, so I'm going to do a shadow here. Okay, I'm not sure this will work, but I want to keep it sparse, and you'll see why in a second. Hopefully, anyway. Let's do that darker, shall we? Ooh, hello. Let's just give that a trim. I'm loving Fortitude, by the way. If you've not caught it yet, I highly recommend it. It's science fiction through the back door, horror. I mean, it's just brilliant. So well acted. So, Dennis Quaid, what a guy. One of my favourite actors of all time. And he's not disappointing. So I saw him, oh gosh, he was playing Bill Clinton, and he was just so good as Bill Clinton in this part. I forget what it was about, Tony Blair and Bill Clinton sort of relationship before everything went tits up. But it was just fantastic, a masterclass in acting. He's just so versatile. And I think he's one of these actors that's sort of suffered from the fact that he's just so good looking that he doesn't get many acting roles as such. If you've seen him in The Right Stuff, who's the greatest pilot you ever saw? I mean, he's just so funny. And as I said, he can do confused better than Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford does this kind of what the? But yeah, I mean, he's better than Harrison Ford by a long stretch, I'd say. If they'd had him as Han Solo, I reckon he would have done it better. Okay, there you go. Stick that in your windpipe. So I just want to do that because I want to emphasise how sort of powerful this jet is. So sort of whiting it out just sort of, emphasises that. I'm going to do a little orange burst like that. Maybe a bit of yellow actually. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Whoa. Getting off on it. Whoa. Bit of yellow. Nice. Look at that. Whoosh. What I might do, okay, watch this. Watch this. Watch what I'm going to do now. So I've done a copy of the colour of my little character, and I'm going to change the exposure. So I'm going to knock it down, right, like that. So I've got that over the top of that, right? So I'm going to get the rubber, and I'm going to remove the top layer, but only sections of it. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, come on, let's see. So it's just a nice way to do shadows, really, and they're consistent with the way it should be. I don't want to get too arty-farty, but maybe it just sort of sells the joke. Always got to think, does it help the joke? If it doesn't, don't do it. Basically, if it informs the joke and makes it better. No, I'm not sure it does actually, but let's just bear with it. Ooh. There. So yeah, the light's picking up. You just think where the light would be hitting, his earlobe. Maybe there's a sort of bit of a chin there. Yeah, I think that's kind of working. Ooh, he said it. Ooh. Yeah. I've got this little creature. Let's see if it gets working. Oh, there. It's funny how you go up to dogs and you go, hello. It's all in pitch. So the higher the register, the softer it is. I think they did it in Big Bang Theory that women don't actually hear deeper registers. So if you talk deeply, they're less likely to hear you. Because I think, and I don't think this is sexist, it might be, but women, because of babies, hear, young children. So they're kind of tuned for it a bit more than men. Anyway. Let's knock that down a bit. Yeah, I think it's not so in your face. I mean, what I could do as well is, hang on a sec, is do a version where the exposure is quite high. Let me see. It's basically white, isn't it? Don't be afraid to experiment, because you might actually discover something interesting. Does that look better? Let's take that off. Yeah, I think that's okay. So, just have a sort of vroom. Let's just make it bigger. Vroom. And I think do this warp text and oh yeah, arch it, but do it in horizontal distortion. Aha! Not too much. Just sort of arch the back of it a bit. Maybe that's a bit. I don't know. Just makes, gives it a bit of sound effect, sort of Doppler effect, kind of like that, maybe. And he's thinking, dang. And that comes directly from Larson, so thank you, Larson, for the dang. Thank you for the dang. Dang, please. And if you haven't seen The Far Side, check out The Far Side, because the man was a genius. Still is, I think. I don't think he's dead. He just gave up. I think his brain just melted. He might be doing them, but I think he made his money. He's like, I'm done. I don't blame him. He did thousands. And he changed cartooning, so yeah, Larson. I don't know his first name. I keep thinking Eric, but that's not it. Gary Larson. That's it. What am I doing? Oh, dang these misfunctioning rocket wellies. There you go. Yeah. And he's thinking this. As you would. So, let's just put in the thought bubble. No, thicker. Do it at 14, 21. Yeah. That looks alright. What I'll do is I'll go over this, just tighten up. Looks a bit fat to me. I'll do that in a second. There we go. Oh dear. Oh God, goes on forever. I'll be putting this up on Cartoon Stock if you're interested. You want to put it on your website? Oh, hello. Oh, God's sake. Nope. There we go. Going to finish off Sneaky Pete tonight. Looking forward to that. If you haven't seen it, it's on Amazon, and it's really good. Check it out. I was watching Sense8, and that's really rude. Done by the Wachowskis, but I kind of lost interest. It just got too bloody complicated. I could sit in it, and maybe I'll start again. I could see what they were doing. I mean, it's very liberal, interesting point of view on the world, but I think it kind of was tripping over itself a little bit. You know, when it just becomes event, and people coping with events rather than sort of dealing with them. I don't know, it just, yeah, alright. It's reacting to things rather than sort of enabling things, I guess. They're very clever, what they were trying to do. Check it out. Anyway, yeah. So just put some white on that. There we go. See how easy that is. Fantastic. In the old days, you had to sort of leave spaces, and you know, didn't have levels and things and layers. So just do this. Oh, there we go. Dang these misfunctioning rocket wellies. Vroom. I quite like that. I think that's quite nice. Made me giggle when I drew it. And again, I was just doodling, and I did his leg up, and you know, that happened. So just don't think that you have to think about it and then put it on the paper. Doodle, you know, and things just sort of happen. And I think I've said this so many times, but I think it's because your non-verbal side of your brain is communicating with you. So just draw something and make sense of it, really. And you know, okay, that's not the best joke in the world, but I just think it's silly. It's kind of like Wallace and Gromit, kind of silly, you know. Their quest for cheese, that sort of thing, you know, it's not a big deal. But just that idea in itself is kind of funny. Right, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll do a couple more today, I should think. But I'm going to have some lunch. So I'm just going to say goodbye. See you, folks. If I can turn it off. Oi! Oh dear. Not ideal. Right, you lot. I hope you're well, and I'll try and do another one of these later on. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I have, talking to you. Thank you. Goodbye.